Hello, welcome back to the Pride Pod here on Loud and Proud Orlando. Another Tuesday night with John Rollins and your other host, Luis Carlos Pineda. Sorry, Luis, I messed your name up
Okay,
there.
no
How are
problem.
you, buddy?
No, doing great. Definitely excited for what's coming to the Pride. Definitely, setting records, winning hearts and minds across the league. Making a statement on every game. We have a tough road ahead. We have a home game against Gotham. A star-studded team with Purse and everyone. Uh, and we need to win in front of our home crowd and in front of the Black Swans and demonstrate why we're on top. So it's exciting. It's exciting for sure. Exciting moment. Exciting to face tougher competition than Houston, and we'll dive into all of that. Today we'll review the Houston Dash win. We'll talk about the record-setting Pride, and then we'll preview Gotham, and as well, we're gonna talk about Zambia.
Yes, definitely. It's going to be a great show here. Kicking us off with the Houston Dash win, extending our unbeaten streak back to NWSL games, back to us winning. This one, Luis, your initial thoughts on the win, the 1-0 away win over Houston Dash this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, we defeated a team that it's almost at the bottom of the league, and we looked a little bit. I don't know how to call it. I don't know if it's just a little rusty. It just seems that Houston looked like they got our number and they try to make a statement by hopefully getting the W, and it was costing us to attack, and we wasted a lot of chances, I believe, too. 21 total shots for the Orlando Pride. 425 passes. So chances were there. It's just that we didn't put it behind the net. We have one big chance, one goal, and it was Summer Yates that put the exclamation point on the game, and then it was a Don Dada, and we got the W on the road. And I commend the team for staying compact and being able to defend right after, because Houston was coming gun ho to definitely score a couple on us if needed be. But we'll get into the highlights in just a bit.
Yeah, I think a game where we definitely we did create a lot, but we were not really being clinical. We weren't really taking our chances. Definitely until that like Summer did take her chance very well. And we'll talk more about that goal in a bit. But as you can see here, like their Houston Dash also had some chances. So there was a minute where we could have gone down, a goal. We didn't, we didn't concede again in the, what is it? Like, I don't think we conceded a goal at all in the last 15 minutes of a game, Luis. So lots of positives, of course, but it wasn't all smooth here. I think there was a little bit of shakiness. I think, I think it's against a better team. We might have conceded a goal or two in this match. I think Houston just aren't great up front and weren't able to take the chances. And Anna, once again, proving that she's, a real asset in the back line, doing what they do best and stopping the other team from scoring. But a game where we could have or should have scored potentially more goals than we did as well. So not our best performance, but we'll talk a little bit more as we go into detail, Luis, and I'll kind of give you an overall thought I have on this match. But let's get into the highlights and go through one by one. We've already got a comment here as well, so everybody please drop your comments. We're going to read this one first from Jennifer, who says, Sam's made a couple of critical interventions
Yes.
that scared the hell out of me in real time.
Yeah. The
I
one
mean,
that,
an
yeah.
incredible challenge in there, right?
Yeah. I mean, there was one that she also had when it was a heavy touch, I think by Sam's, who enabled Nagasato to touch it over for Ordonez right on the box. So, it's it was, I mean, it was scary, there. But I mean, I think Sam's, you said she was, she didn't have a lot of playing time with the national team, and it kind of, she was coming after I think a month or so, over a month, without any game time, and you could kind of see that, but now she's getting back into rhythm, and I was really honestly also surprised about Corey Dyke starting at on the back line. I expected Carson Pickett, and I think we picked it on our preview. We thought Carson Pickett was gonna, join us as at a right back position, and it was actually quite pleasant to see Corey Dyke.
Yeah, I think Corey Dyke played a good game. I think it's one of the scenarios we think, okay, Carson Pickett's a veteran of the league coming back to a club that she's already been. Like, that's ready to go. Throw her in there. But there's always that, she's got to learn the tactics of Seb. She's never been managed by Seb. She hasn't been part of this particular squad. So it will take a little bit of time, I think, to get her up to speed with how we play, how we press, how we defend as a back line. And that was probably what we saw, why Seb was like, okay, I'm going to put her in later and not start her out from the beginning. And then with Carey starting out at left back, I think that opened up a spot at right back. Also, Haffa, like when Haffa comes back and it's ready, is Emily going to take that right back spot? I don't know, but Corey, it's been rotational this whole year.
Yeah.
So nobody's really completely like Brianna's had time in there, Emily's had time in there. We've had different players. Beginning of the season, Haley was still playing there. So maybe Corey can, if he plays really well, can stake a claim for that position. We'll have to see how that goes forward. But just a reminder on the lineup, Luis: Anna Morehouse, Carrie Abello, Kylie Strom, Emily Sams, Corey Dyke, Haley McCutcheon, Angelina back in the D-mid, Marta in number 10, Julie Doyle in the left wing, Adriana on the right wing, and Barbara Banda up front in the number 9.
That's
Let's
right.
kick off the highlights.
Houston gets the first touch. We are back underway. The NWSL is on Prime this Friday night.
In those areas, and I said to Seb Hines, it's a good problem for you to have, but having to make that team selection and leaving players out is not an easy thing to do, and keeping everybody happy. But Seb Hines seems to be doing a really good job of doing that.
Winning cures a lot of those ills. All forward from Marta. Doyle latches on across.
Oh, that was unlucky.
What a goal that would have been. Yeah, like a great ball for Marta. Doyle with the header and almost lands.
Yeah, they canceled each other. Adriana and Banda were going for the same ball. And,
I feel like there's a little bit of a like I think the Marta Banda synchronicity, what are you going to call it, like partnership is there, right? But I think maybe Banda needs to develop a little bit more with Adriana. I noticed that happens quite a lot. I don't see a lot of connections between those two, like in the play and the way they build up. So is that something you've noticed too, Luis?
Yeah, it just seems that they're both going towards the same side.
They're not on the same wavelength a lot of the time, I feel like.
And they both are. I mean, I think it doesn't sound like probably a bad assessment. But I'm just trying to say that they're kind of ball hogs in their own way. They're both.
They've both got a lot of confidence. Let's put it that way.
Right. It's like
it's
having
a good thing. You want them to have that. They're good players.
It's like having two Kobe Bryants on the team.
The star power.
You will never pass the ball to anyone else. So. It's just they're used to that, and you have to understand that Adriana comes from a system in Brazil that she was it on that flank.
Yeah,
I mean, and she just dominated, and she will cut in and score, and so, but there's Banda there, and so Banda is very vertical, very physical, and it just kind of canceling each other out.
I think if they can link up and be a bit better as a relationship together, I think that would be like we've seen between Marta and Banda. So hopefully that'll come with time. They haven't played a lot of minutes in the field. All these players up front together.
Yeah, I know it's their first game. They gotta go back and gel again. You know what I mean?
A little bit of that needs to happen. A little bit
of a gelling.
Yeah.
Knocked wide by Adriana. have Banda rising for it. It fell to the Brazilian silver medalist, Adriana, on the other end.
Against the Chicago team, when he was talking about, the three that they play, how they're going to play, he was often out on the sideline with a tactics board. And I mentioned, as a player, I think in the game, that's sometimes difficult. And I like what he said to us yesterday. He said, I just sit back sometimes out, let the players make mistakes.
Yeah, right. That right there was happening often. We just got to get better at that.
Houston made a good press at times.
Yeah,
they did a good job of getting in our faces.
And Tarsiani had a good game because I think she wanted to prove to
Tarsiana is quality.
Yeah, she just wanted to prove that she could beat Marta.
If Tarsiani carries on like this, she's going to be one of the best center backs in the league for a long time because she's so young and she's already of that level of quality.
Ability on the field of play and let them do what they want.
Look at that ball right there.
Banda and Tarsiani going stride for stride. Banda won it. Banda picks her head up. Banda fires and
that right there. I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about that.
Banda picks.
I think
she
Barbara. She's so determined to get the space sometimes that she gets the space, but her body position when she is not good. So then she's shooting with no power, and it's right at the goalkeeper, and it's easy.
You had Julie Dole right there.
Yeah, that's exactly where I would say, like you said, Luis.
I
love that Barbara and Adriana are like those kind of players, but Julie can be like that too. But sometimes they gotta lift their head up and look because
those
wide open.
Those are wide open chances that could, and again, we are on the latter part of the actual tournament, the actual league, and we're gonna have playoffs, and so in the playoffs, once you lose, you're done, and these chances, you got to learn how to be unselfish because imagine if she would have passed to Julie would have scored completely open. I'm sure it was going to be a score. Orlando's up 1-0 in 15 minutes of play. It just kind of gives you that extra confidence, and it kind of changes the pace of the game and you kind of control it more. So I think we need to see more of that collectiveness with our front three. I think.
We might just need to play the ball, start the ball, have a bit more of a consistent lineup. You know what I mean? Like it's changed so much recently because of all the international and everything. This front four, I think, with more time, could really become really dangerous if they all start to link up properly.
Now, I would have, if I was Julie, been like, "Yo, like, hey, But,
yeah, I didn't see what her reaction was, but she's wide open.
Fires and ultimately,
she's just like, like, oh shucks.
For Campbell had a long run coming down the right-hand side.
Now, I understand she wants to score. I understand she wants to be probably the top leading scorer in the league, But,
there's other times where that determination from Barbara is how she gets the goal.
Correct.
But sometimes you don't. She needs to learn that, like, what her job is, like, to do that and, like, get herself, test the center backs, take people one-on-one, get into the great positions. But it's not always the answer. It's not always to shoot herself. Sometimes the answer is to then you've done all the really hard work, make the perfect assist off to someone like Julie who's there, who can then just bury it, who's got that time and space. And that's what makes the greatest strikers in the world, Luis, so good, right? Is that they are so intelligent like that they know, yes, I can score, but this is better in this opportunity to give the ball. Like Erling Haaland, for example, right? Not to cross into that world, but he probably make a pass there. Maybe he's got the same ideas as Barbara Banda, where he wants to smack it, but sometimes, it shows over intelligence where you say, okay, actually, I just want to pass it here.
Yeah, I mean, there was one player that I saw growing up. It was Ronaldo Fenomeno, the Brazilian Ronaldo. And when he played in Barcelona, he was just like Banda. He was just trying to do the play by himself. He was physical. It was kind of like a Daryl Dike, like pushing defenders over and winning by speed and power and score. But when he went to Italy, they're like, dude, you can't do that. Like, like we're trying to win a championship. Like, pass it over. Because in Italy, they promote defense. They defend better than attack.
Yeah.
In the 90s, you got Cannavaro, you got all these big center backs. So he had to learn to be a little bit more solid. And when he went to Madrid, he went off in assists and in goals. So I think it's part of developing your game.
Barbara could have double-digit assists in a season
Correct.
quite
Yeah.
easily as well. Like
Quite
that
easily.
is 100%
Yeah,
in the realm of
100%.
possibilities.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
just needs to lift her head up a little bit more in some
Yeah.
occasions, and also realize that it's not all on her. I think maybe some of that comes from her time with Zambia and being like,
correct.
I'm going to
Yeah.
put the team on my shoulders and take it.
Yeah.
But there's so much quality in this team that she is a big part of that, of course. But there's quality, and that's what we're talking about with the Adriana thing. Same thing. Like,
same with Adriana.
Let's get all of this quality clicking a little bit better, where they are gonna make that extra pass, get their head up, and then the goals will they'll flow like crazy, because not only are they setting each other up, but they're making chances for themselves.
Correct. Let's see. Thank you to Rodri E. Romero, that's online right now on Instagram. Big Al M8, DM Martinez, Zachary Simmons, ABG Miguel. Thank you so much for joining here. Do we have any comments before we continue?
Oh. Yeah, Jen says Tarsiane was a beast all game.
Oh, yeah.
She also says this game convinced some of my Chelsea mutuals that they want Tarsiane. LMAO. I mean, it's definitely the kind of probably one of the top young defenders in the world right now for the women's game, and what she's shown in the World Cup and how well she's doing this year and NWSL. Like, she's the shining star of Houston, in my opinion, right now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
there's not much else going on there apart from their defense, and Tarsiana is a big part of that. So,
all right, let's continue watching the highlights here.
From Doyle, and never spotted it. Came to her after the game in North Carolina and said, hey, you're on our radar. We've got some camps coming up. Didn't think it would be the next camp. And got the call after a game against Utah. Tarsiane, that's blocked. Through for Banda, brilliant. Banda against the world as ever. Banda turns on the Jets and knocked out by Cam.
And see, there it's the opposite. Like, Barbara has done it all, and like she could totally, because there's no one else near her there, right? In this scenario,
no, I mean, there should.
Is that like, that's kind of bad, but also she's just so fast that it's like I don't 100% blame our team if they're not keeping up with how quickly she's personally attacking. But maybe here in this scenario, you could hold the ball up for a second, look for the runner coming in.
Exactly.
And then we can build and get, a shot on the far side, whatever.
Exactly.
Because I think it's, in that scenario, very difficult to score. And that's sometimes where she closes her angle out. And then it's, you know what I mean? Like, that is a tough shot to make.
Yeah, it is, because you don't have
that angle. You don't have the angle. You've got defenders and a goalkeeper in the way.
Like, literally is 3 against 1.
Yeah. And so she did the hard work, but maybe that wasn't the right decision at the end of the hard work.
Now, like you said, she should have come here and like right here. Wait. Like right there. Do a stop, kind of look who's the runner, and then pass it there, and then control the ball there, because just right there you're out of, I mean, unless you truly like whip it between the legs of the keeper. I mean, she's really well positioned right there on her post. I mean, she's gonna get the ball no matter what.
I think she needs to learn how to hold the ball up a little bit. I mean, she's got that physicality, but she goes and she muscles people off while sprinting forward.
Right.
But there's also the skill of slowing down and like holding people off while you just keep the ball for a second while your teammates catch up with you, and then you can pass it off. But also, we would be nice to see when she's making these runs are Doyle, Adriana,
right there. They
getting
gotta
a little bit
behind
closer,
her. That's right
as well. So it's a combination of the two. But she sometimes ends up in these situations where she's trying to do it all herself, and sometimes she does. But it's often the case where she's just kind of run into a corner with too many defenders, outnumbered, and can't really get a good shot off.
No, we have the set piece here.
Angelina, ball drops, knocked down.
Oh,
Still loose, top of the 6, over to Strong. She goes cascade.
yeah. I mean, that right there, Haley should have.
The amount of power on that Barbara Vander shot.
Yeah.
I think like Jane Campbell must still be reverberating from her gloves. So it like almost hits her in the face.
Yeah.
It's an absolute rocket.
It's a rocket, and it was. I mean, it's a rocket, and like when I heard the bang, you heard a loud bang.
Oh, yeah. I felt that like, one through the screen.
Is she? I was like, is she okay?
I'm amazed that didn't go in.
Like, yeah, because I felt like it hit her face in a way.
Like she had her hands in front of my face, I think. And so like she saves it here, and then it bounces down, and it's like pure chaos. I don't know how Haley doesn't get it in. We don't score. And then, like, they get lucky, really. That should have been a goal.
Yeah,
there.
Like right there, Haley, you should have. I mean, I know, you're not there, obviously. Like
we're not professional soccer.
We're not professional soccer players, but like,
you could have tried to put the first time shot on it.
Like right there, when she lowered it down, Tarsiani already got her number. So at that point, it is what it is.
Scramble and a second ball,
Strong, she goes to the ground, still blocked.
She tried the second time there. She just tried to hit it.
No, that's a huge chance for a huge chance for the Pride. Like,
yeah, that was big.
And that scramble happened because Haley kind of saw Tarsiani coming after her, and Tarsiani is imposing, as you can see.
Yeah,
also. So
a lot of traffic. Campbell got enough in the defense, able to knock it out of harm's way. Totally agree. And just because you don't get a predetermined draft slot
right there,
as Banda breaks through, Banda burst.
Man, honestly, like
you got Tarsiani's number there. There was a good battle all night.
Yeah.
Like
that made her look pretty.
At times, Tarsiani had her number too, though. So,
like, this is another chance in which she has to decide. Like you have Julie right there, man. Now she passes
smart choice here.
Yep.
But
and then Adriana right there, Julie right there. Is she offside, John? I don't think she's offside.
I think she's odd. Yeah, I think it's actually a great run.
Yeah,
an opportunity for Adriana to pass it.
Yeah, she's onside, and
it works.
Adriana.
is
there.
The problem is Adriana takes, and this is something we do a lot in our attacks, is we just take one too many touches.
Yeah,
like Adriana, that's gotta be like one time across to Julie.
Correct.
Or like one touch and pass. She takes like 2 touches. It's like that extra dribble before we pass, and that gives the defender time to close down and close the space.
Yeah,
but also this is not a great shot from Julie. She's falling over and doesn't get power on it. So it's just about getting on another day, Luis. A lot of these chances go in. You know what I mean? We get the technique right, we get the pass right, but on this occasion we were kind of struggling to finish especially in this first half, to finish what we created.
Yeah, she was trying to, I guess, get her strong foot, being strong-footed right there in the attack. And again, one extra touch. I mean, you could have kind of done your foot in like that, hit it with the inside of your foot, redirect the ball. But again, who am I to say that?
Doyle now. Doyle knocks it right at Campbell.
It was there, Mike, but I think everybody just took one touch.
Obviously, you could see a little bit of frustration on Julie because, there was that pass that Banda didn't pass to her. And now there's this chance right here.
To be more selfish. I was questioning before she should have passed it to Julie Doyle. And in that moment, I'd like to see Barbara Banda go towards goal. It is. I played against Haley when she was here, and it's incredible to see her come back as a GM of a team that's sitting top of the NWSL.
First half, I went to get a coffee, and right there at my house, put a hot dog in the microwave, some ketchup, relish and some mustard. Then off we go to the second half.
And that team is struggling with the dash tonight. Scoreless at the
Do
intermittent.
we have some comments? I just want to make sure. It says
Yeah, we got some comments.
Jay Texas says, still don't understand why Brazil didn't start Angelina in the final. Well, you may want to ask. I know.
I'm still literally this. What I was thinking about, I was doing the agenda for this, Luis. I had that exact thought, and I was like,
That's
still
the
annoyed.
first.
I'm still annoyed they didn't play Angelina as starter in that match.
No, and not only that, like yesterday we were talking
Yeah.
after the pod, and then he's like, "Yo, Angelina played like amazing." I was like, "I know."
Yeah, she's.
You know?
We'll talk about her past the summer in a bit, but all games, she's just the way she spreads the ball around, just everything. She's midfield maestro. She can defend, she can dribble, she can pass. It doesn't matter where we put her in the midfield. She can do something that's going to be productive. And I think during the Summer Cup and like when she was out before, I think she's missed. Like as much as we have a lot of good midfielders, we don't have any midfielders, in my opinion, that can do what Angelina does. The way she connects the defense to the attack.
Yeah, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. And right here it says Ellen Orlando says, so many missed opportunities. We'll solidify these opportunities for the Gotham. Yeah, I mean we have to. We have not only now a record to we gotta be like this sounds gonna sound so cliche, but if you know American football, the 72 Dolphins, you know, you imagine just going undefeated, like just going to the final. There you go.
Changes both ways at halftime. Marta kicks us off into the second 45. And the return to play game in the NWSL, coming off the remarkable Olympic Games. An Olympian in for Houston at the break. Yeah, Pickett's going to add an entirely different element. Her service, more often than not, comes from such a deeper place on the field. It's like an entirely different angle. Somehow Banda able to poke that free to Adriana.
That was nice right there by Marta Banda and Adriana connecting right there.
They brought on Alozi at halftime, and she gets a lot of chances in the second half. She had a good game. And obviously we brought on Summer for Julie at halftime as well.
Adriana angles in. Patterson whips it all the way across. Stuck by the post. Had Doyle and Banda laying it away.
That was close.
That was really close.
Suddenly rather enticing here for Houston. Hung up by Rubinson. Dealt with easily. Taken out of the air and sent wide. Rubinson. Strides by, sends service again, bounces, allows it.
Yeah, that right there is just like that right there. I mean, past two defenders right there.
Strides by,
and that was a turnover right there by Emily.
Sends service again, bounces, allows it.
Great strike from Alozia.
159 million years of history. This knocked in from Adriana and grabbed.
Why did Adriana shoot from there?
I think she sometimes we, like I said, we just like we're going for shots.
Yeah, right there.
Maybe we could make a pass there. I mean, look, he's down the right wing is open.
You got Banda on side able to cut in to the right. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like
I think it's just those key decisions, you know.
59 million years of history. This knocked in from Adriana and grabbed by Campbell. Finally comes to the fore. It's the teammates who call it the Stegus.
Do you like the Manchester City jersey?
It's better than the dark orange of their whatever that, you know. It's like the Houston orange. I don't know what that orange is, but I don't like it.
A player that has found her place, has found a home here. We spoke about her going over to Real Betis in Spain and that experience, how much it helped her, and playing for the Spirit.
They kept talking about this girl's hairstyle. It looked like a dinosaur.
Who, number 13?
Yeah, what is it?
Jacobs? Jacobs?
Yeah, and she's
Yeah.
got like a Stegosaurus.
Yeah, she had a like Komodo dragon or something like
Yeah,
that.
they talked about that for about a good 10 minutes.
That's a very insightful right there.
Is interesting. I'll say that.
She's a main player on this team.
Now that right there, like I'll be honest with you, like look at that pass, man. Just
and playing for the Spirit, but now I think she's finally found.
Like she already saw right there. She already saw Summer. Like the ball didn't even drop, but she already saw Summer.
Summer said that they do this a lot. Like she knew that Angelina could, Ange could put it on a dime when she started making that run.
Yeah, like look at that.
Place that she can call home and she gets minutes. She's a main player on this team.
Jacobs,
I mean, what a ball. They're talking about her hairdo, and she just gets smoked by a delicious ball from Angelina. I mean, it's what a ball that is. I mean, Summer as well, like the composure, I'm pretty sure she's left-footed, right? I'm not wrong in that. So it's her opposite foot, and she just
boom.
Jane Campbell coming at you, USA goalkeeper, and you just slip it under, no problem, into the corner. Professional finish.
Yeah, for sure.
But also Angelina with that, that's like Pirlo-esque,
Correct.
I'm watching an absolute baller of a midfield there from the way that she just pings that.
I don't think John's exaggerating when she says Pirlo-esque. I think
it's in that realm, the way she could just distribute the ball.
Because the ball didn't even hit the ground and she already saw Summer running. Like you gotta have that awareness. Is like
Marta can do that too. I think she's been learning from Marta. Like you don't see it as much because Marta's usually higher up the field, but when she does want to do those long distributing passes, that's just like the one Angelina did.
Midfield director Angelina. Yeah, I would have with again, to the coach of Brazil. Come on, man.
And such a good balance with her and Haley, because it's really that true like 6-8 combo. Angelina's your box to box, and Haley's the like holding it down, more defensive mid. So I'm excited to have her back in the team and running things with Marta in there. And we're looking, we forget, Luis, this team, when the full 11 is there, and we're down so many players as well that that could be still contributing next year and onwards. So we're so much depth that I feel confident in the fact that we can see this out.
For sure.
The Orlando breakthrough. Summer Cup's over. Summer Yates taking over, and Orlando, trying to stretch the longest unbeaten run in league history, grabs the lead.
Oh,
great composure from Summer Yates. Great finish. I was just giving Natalie Jacobs so many props, and of course she makes that mistake. It was a really good ball between the fullback and the centre back from Angelina.
Oh, look right there, beautiful. Like it's like kind of like watching, like you hit a.
But this is all about.
And that was exactly like we were looking at the chances from Adriana and Banda and Julie, and none of them had the composure in their chances like Summer shows there. So sometimes you just gotta have that. There's like that thing that happens to athletes where like everything seems to slow down, and you have that extra bit of time, and it just seems like Summer had that in this moment to be able to make that nice little finish underneath Jane Campbell and use that awareness and intelligence that she has on the ball to calmly pass it into the back of the net.
Banda right there telling Summer, hey, next time.
See, that's a Marta finish too. That's the kind of thing Marta would do, right? It's again another. I feel like we're seeing the influence of Marta in the way these other players play.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's once this team, and I think next game is an opportunity for. I'm sure they're gonna watch tape again, and they're gonna see the chances they created, the chances they missed, and I felt a feeling that for Gotham, because they're. I mean, let's not be I mean, let's be real here. They're a better competition than Houston. You know, we're probably going to have a tough time in the beginning, but you know, if we score and we're unselfish and we score a couple chances in the first half, like we control the pace of the game. And I think when Orlando has control in you know in the game, it just always moves, the dial moves to our side. You know, it's tough for defenses to to shut us down, you know.
For sure.
They do this job. I think Schmidt can do that job.
This one right here, look.
Marta angles.
Oh,
Marta!
what a save, man. What a save.
That would have been what a goal of the season. I don't know, just an absolute like she just chops two people, like they're just breaking ankles in the box.
Yeah,
like, one goes down. There's like three down.
Yeah, but
by the end of it,
yeah, I understand. You know, she's gonna go for the shot because she's Martha, but you gotta understand, you got two killers on your right.
Yeah.
And at that point, that's what I'm saying is like, we cannot do this. We gotta know when to do this. Like, I know maybe here, you know, they're trying to, you know, get up into the scoring standings, but you know, when we're playing like KC, when we're playing the playoffs, like these chances and these opportunities of having players next to you open and you kind of going for the shot with three defenders almost in front of you and a great goalkeeper, you gotta know what to do at that point. I don't know. I just feel that.
I think Martha, though, when she's like, a lot of these players we get in the box, we're looking to make that space, like, and she goes past two players, she just might not even realize that they're lining up next to her. Right by that point, I also think that sometimes the players, when they go 1v1 and they beat a couple, that they really start to like, it's like the momentum, and then they're like, okay, now I'll shoot as well. I don't think it was a bad decision by Marta. I think it's a great save by Jane Campbell. But if she's gonna be doing that the rest of the season, just chopping it up, and then she's gonna create a lot of problems, because that was
that was amazing. I mean,
that was like vintage Marta right there.
Yeah. So we got Angelina set piece.
Corner for the Pride. Up for Banda. Steers it down. Campbell angles over.
Barbara's unlucky there. I mean, like, she had a lot of chances this game. Another day she scores 2 or 3, I think.
Also, also the
ball, I think, is a little bit too far out. It's difficult to head.
Yeah,
she gotta be a bit closer for that.
Carson Pickett with a turnover.
Livieri.
Good. Like I said, it's gonna take Carson a minute
Rubinson.
Get integrated.
Not a great clearance. Angling for space. Return from.
See that?
Whoa. Bro, that
great,
right there.
Great little bit of run and pass there from the Houston player.
That right there was that save is just like God.
And then they managed to work it to who is it? It's it's Aluzi on the far side with the space.
High, not a great clearance.
And then Anna just coming in clutch again.
Bro, Anna's like, this ain't gonna come through. Like, look at her movement. Look at her movement. She's closing her angle of the shot. And now she's a lefty, so she already, in my opinion, had her beat the way, and I think she noticed. So she went straight to that right side of hers, you know.
And not only that, Luis, just play it forward a little bit and stop there. Like, look at this. Like, when the shot is made, look at where our players are.
Yeah.
And this is why Orlando Pride have not conceded in the last 50 minutes of a game, and why we have 8 shutouts in the season, and why we're so defensively good. Because there's a player on the line behind Anna. There's 2 more players in the box next to Anna. There's 2 more players next to there. And then there's about 4 more players all also in the box. Like, the determination to get back and defend, and not only for the actual defenders, but everybody in the team, is impressive. And yesterday we had a very negative podcast to talk all about Orlando City and their 3-0 loss against Sporting KC. And we didn't see any of this in that game. And that's what the Pride cannot lose if we're going to continue our strengths here, Luis. We gotta keep doing stuff like this because the determination to not allow the other team to score.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I don't think I've ever watched a team that has that, like the Pride has this year. So let's hold on to that.
Yep.
Fans here trying to spark a
And
reaction.
Houston really kind of came back into it a little bit here. And
100 regular season minutes without a
That's
goal.
Courtney
now
Peterson right there.
We've made some late subs. Angelina came off for Ali Watt in the 80th.
Getting in line.
That was nice.
Like that right there. Was that Peterson? Was that Peterson? Who made the? It looks like her, but that is that.
How did we not? Yeah, the Courtney Peterson pass.
Like, yeah, that wasn't. Look at that
header.
Right there.
Yeah. We were lucky. We were lucky there.
Yeah, that right there was like, man.
She just hit the mark. She anywhere but the post there, and it's going in.
This is miss of the season for me, Mike. Really good ball in, and Dresser has to put that in the back of the net. That has to be a goal.
Yeah,
has to be a.
That's my former favorite player.
And sometimes you need a bit of luck too, Luis. And that was a little bit of luck there.
Come back, Courtney.
Courtney Peterson, yeah. Jen says Courtney Peterson pass. Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Also, Marta bodying players. That was from before.
Yeah. Thank you, Jay.
We also made 2 very late subs. We had Evelina Duljan came on for Marta in the 89th, and Morgan Gachal came on for Adriana in the 89th as well.
Yeah, I think we should see Evelyn a little sooner. And I think against Gotham, I think we're probably seeing a little sooner if need be.
I think Seb was waiting to like get the goal and really lock the game down before, because I think Evelina, there's some players that aren't as defensive and like it's good, you know what I mean? So Evelina might not be as good on the press, etc. So maybe that's what's holding her back. We'll see.
Now look at Anna's face, Carrie's face,
It's like
that corner kick. I'm like, come on, man.
That's a great shot there. It almost came off Carson when it came back out. That could have been terrible.
I've done it myself. It happens. I completely understand.
I think she hit the ball without looking, and it just went to the post.
Yeah. She just thought, this is a goal with my head.
Yeah, with my hand. So I'm just gonna turn it, and
that has to be a goal. Has to be.
That was a head in hat like heart moment,
And Orlando.
Ali Watt right there, speed. That's crazy.
It's off to the races the other direction. 3v2.
And then she looks up.
Was right there.
It's a great pass.
Right there. Come on, Adriana. Right there. Look at Bondo right there. Come on, Adriana.
I think she does go for the pass here. Yeah, honestly, I think she's going for the pass, and Tarciana just is a beast again. Because that if Tarciana is not there, that's a Banda goal back post. For sure.
For sure.
I don't see Banda missing that one. So both teams really there, could have scored in the last end of the match, which would have still ended up with us winning.
History by their lonesome, the longest unbeaten streak in regular season NW.
Emily.
This guy's bringing us nicely onto our next topic, Luis.
Yeah, welcome back, Emily. It's good to see Emily back, suit up and ready to go. She's
Why you pause it on her face like this, bro? That's mean. Change it. She just doesn't like it here.
Right there.
Move it forward. Yeah. Poor Emily. Move this forward. I'm kidding.
No,
just got paused in a bad. It's like when you take a photo and you're like, no, I don't want that one.
Yeah. It's like when I do the screenshot, the screenshots for the pod, I have to make sure that you or Paula are not closing your eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
Something funny.
So no, but it's good to see Emily back. I think the team is gonna get more precise, and I think we're going to see those changes. I have full faith that, I mean, it's going to be a phenomenal game against Gotham. You know, it would be cool to foresee a lot of people in this game. You know, it's back-to-back soccer in Orlando, Saturday and Sunday, man. Saturday you got OCSC, and Sunday you got the Pride. It's going to be soccer weekend.
For sure, for sure. We have one more comment from Jay. It says Houston plays her as a winger. Oh, that's Courtney Peterson. So
yeah, interesting.
There we go.
I like a win back. Yeah.
Let's move on, Luis, to talk about some records, which is kind of linked to what we just talked about. So that then put us as having the record for the most wins in a row, dating back all the way to last season. And also Anna Morehouse, then, Luis, has become record setting as well, because she now has the record amount of shutouts in a season as well. So, I mean, we just got to keep setting records. I mean, that's where we're at. So you can see here, they talked about it. I think it's almost a year as well since we lost, knock on wood. I saw a post that said it was like something like 360 something days.
Don't jinx us, man.
I don't want to talk about these things, Luis. I'm always tapping my desk whenever I do. I was like, knock on wood. I'm constantly tapping on.
They're gonna blame us.
On Friday, obviously the Houston Dash game set multiple NWSL and club records en route to the team's 17th straight result of the season. Summer Yates scored the difference maker with her 5th goal and third game-winning goal of the year. The victory is the Pride's current unbeaten run extends to 18 matches dating back to the final game of 2023. Also a 1-0 win against Houston, and sets a record for the longest unbeaten streak in league history. I think just let that sink in for a second. And then also, this marked the 12th win of the season for the Pride, which is a single season high, passing the team's 11. So that's another record. Orlando now sits at 41 points in the year, the most the team has ever accumulated in a season. And the season's not over, so that's going to continue to be broken. On the defense side of the field, Anna Morehouse was tasked with one save of the night, picking up her 8th shutout of the year, a single season team record, and her 15th of her career, also a new career record for any Pride goalkeeper, beating the likes of Ashlyn Harris. And yeah, so an incredible night of record setting. But this article and what they're talking about here is just going to keep rolling if we keep winning, Luis. They can rewrite it and change all these 17s to 18s and 11s to 12s and 8s to 9s, because we're going to continue to set records if this, if we continue to perform. So yeah, it's huge, and I want to talk about it for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, we need to keep going. I mean, I think the toughest thing is to stay on top. So I think right now the Pride in really, I mean, I guess when you look at the numbers and you don't know anything about the league, you could definitely say, oh, they're comfortably at the top, but they're really not. I mean, you have to understand, and I think we said it, you have to prepare each game now. I mean, you have a target on your back, number one, and then every other team that you faced already and you're watching tape, they could have a different strategy to beat you now. And that makes it a tough league. And tactically, that's why I think Seb is such a great coach, is because tactically he needs to go back into the drawing board to each, team he faced, and just kind of be like, okay, so how do we beat this team again? And I think that's going to be key. We have the depth. We just got to score the goals, take better care of our chances, especially against teams like Gotham. And we're on our way, to build something special. And then, I do want to say, if we do get far, and we'll probably win some silverware, if we do, it's going to be tough to stay on top too, It's gonna be it's gonna be great to celebrate, obviously, and hopefully this team starts, building some winning season after season, a couple of seasons, maybe going back to back. I mean, that's probably what's expected now. The expectation now is going to be larger for the Pride fan, for the Orlando soccer fan, and I think what the Pride is doing is fantastic, not only for women's sports, and also hopefully it builds a culture of women's sports in Central Florida, because when you go into the other side is doom and gloom, and you see the Pride and you see what they're building. I mean, I think it's bound to happen, and it's exciting. All the records that they're setting. We were talking about Anna, and we're talking about Anna and how she's improved. Summer as well in the beginning of the year. Fantastic. And not only that, the team is young. Like the team is so young. Our veteran players are performing on the top level. Marta plays like she's like 20. It's fantastic. It's just great. Overall positivity, John.
For sure. In terms of what's happening in the league with our success right now, last weekend there was a massive result for us in lots of ways, because Kansas City lost to Washington Spirit, but now Washington Spirit kind of look like a real threat as well. So we're up there at number 1 on 41 points. Washington Spirit now in second with 37 points. Kansas City right behind them on 35 points, and then Gotham on 34 points. I would say those 4 teams are really like the top 4 contenders for me for any sort of silverware, shield, or the cup. I think, though, Louise, there is an opportunity for us here, if we continue to perform well, to kind of pull away from a group of 3 behind us. If Kansas City might drop points, and Washington, I think, showing a lot of improvement, but they might drop points as well. And Gotham, right, they've got to play each other, etc. If we can continue to win where these other big teams around us might drop a point or draw, we can really just pull away and be up at the top of the table. We've already got ourselves a nice little 4-point cushion there. So let's try and keep that and extend that and keep growing, because these other 3 teams beneath us are still very, very good. And I think that's the thing. We're having an incredible season, but there are other teams having very good seasons as well. And so we can't afford to take our foot off the gas, because they will come and take that first spot away from us.
No, for sure. For sure. I totally agree with you. And again, we're going to go into the later part of the season, and we have to face players that also come from Washington, for example. What's our schedule? Can you put our schedule maybe there? What's next? So we got Gotham, then we got to travel to Chicago, and then we got Kansas. And so, look at that. I think these upcoming games right here are I mean, Gotham and Kansas are probably the 2 opponents that,
and then Spirit down the line, and Gotham again later down the line. We'll get into talking about Gotham a bit more in a second, Luis, but I want to just kind of read a few comments before we do that. Ellen Orlando says 323 days unbeaten. Thank you for that. Yeah, couldn't remember how many it was, but we're getting close to a year. Knock on wood. Victor Sanchez says time to bring more fans to Pride games.
110%.
That's what we're doing, Victor. That's where you been, bud. No, I'm kidding. That's what we're trying. We are trying hard, and I'm sure there are a lot of people that are going to be going. I'm hoping we're going to see a good attendance, Luis, for this Gotham game. Jennifer says the Spirit scared the hell out of me Sunday. I was there for a doubleheader. Yeah, they look pretty good. Also, we run in October of Spirit at home, and then Portland away, and then Gotham away. Yeah, that's going to be down here. You can see Washington Spirit at home, Portland away, Gotham, all in the space of about 20 days, something like that. So 2 weeks or so. It's good, pretty rough. And then just as you had low, we'll get to that point, right? But if we want to win stuff, we're gonna have to beat the best. And this weekend, Luis, we'll talk a little bit now about Gotham, but to put it in context, obviously they're on 34 points. If we, if we let them win, like we shouldn't. If we lose the game, knock on wood, we don't do that. I'm
No,
not
we're
going
not.
to
We're
say
not.
it. I'm knocking on wood. I'm just
No,
saying
we're
what
not
is.
gonna. We're not gonna lose.
Then that would put them in a stronger position to be closer to us, etc. So for them, this is like
Make or break.
a big chance for them to claw up the table and take points away from a higher team. It's a massive game for Gotham. I'm sure they've been building up to it and hyping up to it to come in. I think everyone's going to be like that right now, Luis. We're the team that everybody wants to beat. So
That's right.
that feeling that we had against KC, it's going to be there when Gotham's there on the weekend, I think. And I think it's going to be there when we play Spirit as well. Like these other big teams want to prove they can slay the giant. Even the little teams like Houston, they want to prove they can take us down. The longer our run goes on, the more people are going to want to put a stop to it and be determined to try and be that team that beats us.
That's when you rotate. I mean, that's when you become unpredictable for the rivals. Like maybe when we play Bay expects for us to put Angelina and Marta in the starting lineup, and then we just decide to just put Summer from the beginning. You know what I mean? Take Marta out. So we can do a lot of things. Maybe Ali Watt from the start. Evelina Doljan playing right back. You know what I mean? So those are a couple things that we can certainly do that can make us a little bit more unpredictable as well, because we have that depth. And throughout the season, they've been definitely everyone like they've been performing really well. Even Evelina Dolgen came in with a goal, an assist, so I mean it's massive. So I'm just the depth that Washington has too scary, I'll be honest with you, because I saw the Olympics. So
yeah,
but we'll see.
Let's talk about Gotham. Obviously, this weekend's matchup back at home. This is the lineup they played when they beat Portland Thorns 2-0. So not a bad result at all for them last weekend. They had Ann Katrinberger in goal, incredible talent, of course. Emily Sonnet, Jess Carter in the back line. Jenna Niswanger, Bernina. It's a very good back line. Neely Martin and Sheehan in the midfield. We've also got Stengel and Ella Stevens. We got a comment here from Jay, Texas, saying Ella Stevens was very dangerous player. Yes, indeed. Also Gotham, who took Pride's playoff spot last year. Yeah, I mean, let's not forget, this is the team that took our playoff spot and then went and won it. So, wait, did they win or did they get to the final? I forget. I think I get confused sometimes. But I know they went far. Do you remember, Luis?
I think Gotham.
I forget what happened. Who exactly won it last year? Yeah, they
yeah,
did. Okay.
yeah. Gotham won it last year.
I question myself sometimes. I know things and I question myself always. Yeah, it was Gotham.
Yeah, it was Gotham.
So they snuck in, took our playoff spot, and then won the whole damn thing. And of course, their team is. It's like some people call it USA, basically, Luis, because they've got so many USA players. Obviously, off the bench, came off the bench last week. For them, a bunch of gold medalists right here: Tierna Davidson, Rose Lavelle. It's stacked. They are stacked. I imagine they're going to start Rose Lavelle against us. I would be shocked if they don't. I mean, she's had injury problems, as we know, but this is a game where if I was Gotham, I'd be wanting Rose Lavelle to be out there from the start if she's available and ready. The same with like Tierna Davidson. There's big players in this team that we're gonna have to deal with, and I mean, I think Luis, we are just in agreement that we need to see a little bit better performance than we did against Houston. Maybe not defensively, but taking our chances, because Gotham will create a lot of chances and probably get one or two themselves. It's going to be difficult to keep them out of net.
Yeah, for sure. Is this Krieger's Gotham beat Pino's Reign? Yeah. Oh, okay. Got it. Bag of Rapino. Yeah. So I mean, I'm just excited that we're kind of hopefully we get to. I mean, I want to win the championship, so yeah, I feel like we have a big chance. I mean, it's a star-studded team for sure, but I feel like, I mean, John, we cannot just win with little teams and then not. I think we've shown throughout the season that we've beat Portland. We've been all these tough teams that have star-studded players, and we've outperformed them, just by staying humble, staying compact, staying consistent, being able to play, taking care of our chances. And I think that's what we need to do, is just continue what we've been doing. And again, what's been working great for this Pride team is having that press, control of the game after they score the first one. It's really tough for teams to flip the pancake on the Pride when they're down 1 goal, because they know that the Pride goes like berserk mode, and so they're gonna go and try to get the second one. And so I think that's what we need to continue doing. Just kind of proving ourselves. In order for us to dare to dream and win that championship, we need to beat these teams. Gotham,
Yeah.
Kansas City, we need to have the confidence of facing them and beating them,
And we've done it all year, and this is just another big hurdle for sure, right? I mean, the performance against the Dash wasn't bad at all, and I think it shows that we're a very good team, and we still managed to get to win on a day when perhaps we didn't play our best, and that's the sign of a team that wins. Like, that's the sign of a champion. If you're having an off day and you still get a result. Now, if we, aren't clinical and we don't take our chances against Gotham, it's going to be a little bit harder. But we need to keep our defensive, acumen at doing everything that we've been doing defensively, because it's been like a real success so far. So this team is going to come with their stars, Roosevelt, etc. They're going to be a problem. They're going to create attacks. They're going to create chances. But I believe in this team's ability to defend and then also go up the other end and get a goal. So I think, Louis, a big challenge, but one that we can and should rise to, I hope.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the game again, the final last year was Gotham against All Rain, right?
Yeah.
And then they rebranded right after that loss.
Yeah.
And then they're like, they disappeared,
There's a real change if you think about, Jen saying here, Krieger and Rapinoe, like neither here anymore. So there was like a real sort of end of an era vibe. And I feel like this is a new era of NWSL, and we have a chance to really, like you said, Luis, we got a young team. So we can make something happen this year. That's
young, hungry team that wants to play in the national team. I mean, what better showcase?
Keep our coach, keep our GM, and roll it. We'll keep rolling.
We'll keep our coach too. Don't go to the national team, Seb. Come on, man.
No,
just kidding. Don't go to
that
the
Lionesses.
Cool.
Seb,
don't go to the
cool.
Lionesses.
Maybe.
Seb. No, come on, man.
Seb will never leave us.
Don't leave us, Seb.
No, we're kidding. Maybe one day. That's the dream. Maybe one day after Seb's won everything for us, go manage the Lionesses. That would be cool.
You imagine?
That'd be really cool.
I mean, I know you mentioned. I mean, I know. I'm just. It sounds like a joke, but you imagine if he goes to Orlando City.
I think everyone says that, but they don't understand that it's very different. Like, Also, why would you do that?
Why
Like,
would you do that?
you've
I read it
created,
before. I read it. I read
yeah.
it on some forums. Yeah,
I think that's a little bit naive
people
of people that don't understand that the
people are
women's game
smoking.
is its own thing completely. And why would you building a career in the women's game? You're gonna stay in the women's game.
110%. Not only that, but I mean,
Fine.
you're making a difference.
Yeah, and
You already created a culture, and I think Orlando, if they win the championship, they need to become a women's sports city.
I mean, it's gonna be awesome if we can do
It's gonna be
something. We'll have
great,
to
man.
see. We'll have to see. Do you want to do the lineup for this one?
For sure. Yeah. Let's
It
go
might
ahead
be a
and
little. We'll have to see how we feel on this one. We got a lot of options. It's always difficult doing the Seb lineup, you know. And we like to change it a lot.
I know I have to put because it's purple, man. Sorry. All right, there
So
you go.
drop your comments if you got an opinion on who you think is going to be in here.
Macron. No, I'm just kidding. Anna Morehouse. I think after last game's performance, I mean Anna is definitely for sure staple. So you're back four.
Yep. I think depends if we think Hafa's back or not.
Yeah, I mean I think we'll
Tough
see.
shout.
To me, I'll see Strom.
Yeah, I think Strom on the left side of the center back, and then I'm not super confident that Hafa's gonna be. I mean,
So
maybe
I'll go Sam's. I mean, we'll go Sam's.
she was off the crutches though, and she did come on, right? She came on in that Brazil game, in the final. So maybe who knows? It could be Corey Dyke again.
Yeah, I mean,
I think we should put Hafa in and put Emily Sams at right back. I think it's gonna be. I think if she was fit enough to play in that final, then this is a big game. You start Hafa.
Yep, Sam's and then Abello.
Could be Carson. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think so.
No, I think it will be. I think it'll be.
I think he'll go with in a big game. You can bring Carson on again.
And then
Haley and Angelina, I think. Assuming they're fit and ready, I think they will be. We do have Carrie Lawrence available again, right? Or she got more than one game for that red card? I don't think so. I think she's available again. So maybe Carrie Lawrence in if Hafa's not ready, that could be an option.
Is it like this? Yeah.
I think it's gonna be the same front four.
You think it's I feel, and to me, it's my opinion, I feel it should be Summer.
Yeah, there's an argument for that. For Adriana or Julie? Tough choices, man.
No. I'll put Adriana and
I put Summer on the left and put
Summer on the left,
and put Adriana back in on the right, and
Summer.
It's hard. Julie can come off the bench. Either way,
Marta.
This is a tough choices the Seb have to make, right? You got so many good attackers, but
Adriana.
Summer does. Yeah, she does make a big difference when she's on the field at times.
Yeah, and not only that, like these three could change positions. You know, you see Adriana cutting into the middle. You see Summer trying to cut here. You see Summer as a 10. Marta kind of goes more to the left or to the right. So, and then also, you know, you could see those passes. You know, Angelina Summer.
Like I think also we know from Seb it depends a lot on the threats of the opposition and what he wants to do. And so maybe if he wants more defensive, he'll put Carson and Carson and Carey on the left side.
Yeah.
You know, if he wants to be more defensive, because they do have, you know, good fullbacks that might come up and very good wingers. So
so
that could be in it. If you want to be more defensive, you play Carey as the left wing and play Carson from the start.
Correct. Yep.
There's a few options. I mean, we've got such versatile players, you know, but I think what I learned from our interview, right, Luis, was that Seb was talking about that the matchups and the opposition and what he wants to, he might have the certain players on the field specifically because he wants them to do something like mark a certain player or nullify the opposition in some way.
Correct. Yeah. So, I mean, the cool thing about it is we have the depth to do that. Yeah, like you said, I mean, like, look, you could even go, hey, I'm going to hold off on Marta for the second half. You put Summer, you put Pickett, you put Abello here and Pickett here. And then, these three, they run back for the ball. Their defense. I believe Haley's going to have a much better game against Gotham. I think this last game, she turned the ball over a little bit. But, again, she's been so consistent this season. I'm not gonna, hold anything against her,
Yeah.
But I mean, you could see this too, and that's the versatility of this team. You can see Carson Pickett here.
Yeah.
And then you have, two. Abello can go. And we've seen Abello right here.
I think a team like Gotham, you're probably going to put in a few more defensive than attacking players.
I like this lineup, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Better.
I think this is nice because you got Emily Sams as well, who, if you want a bit of balance, like Carson will go forward, of course, but Emily might sit back a bit more on the right back position. Or if Carrie Lawrence is in there, same thing. Like we got to be aware of the opposition. Like Swanger coming up the left side.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
USA left back coming up the left side. So you got to deal with that as well as Katie Stengel. So.
Right. So, and not only that, I mean, let's say, for example, Banda scores 1 goal, minute 12. You're already winning 1-0. You're controlling the pace of the game. The whole team seems very physically fit. So they're going to contain the game, and then when you're minute 65 in the second half, you could take Summer, put Abello back as left back, take Pickett out, put Marta in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You feel maybe Adriana, it's not panning out. You put Julie. If let's say you feel like you need more presence and you're already up 2 goals, you could put Morgan and hold the game up with Haley,
I mean, that's the other option. You could, not that I would want to drop Angelina, but you could start Morgan and go for like 2 real D mids in there. Correct. If you want to be a bit more, you want to try and counter.
That's even if you want to be
maybe.
Yeah. I mean, that's if you want to be even like more conservative in your transition. You like exactly. I mean, you're so decked. You can put Morgan here. Yeah, like you can put Morgan here. You take Summer out, and you can put Angelina as your 10.
Yeah, that's an option.
And
have a 10 that's a bit more defensive minded, a bit more of an 8 as a 10.
And maybe we see this, and it's still
it could happen.
It's still our mid is 3 players that go after the ball. They're fast. We have Angelina that is going to play kind of like the 10 role, and then you got Carrie that likes to go forward also, but also treads back in defense. But you'll have Carson Pickett, and I will say, if I was a coach, I'd say, Carson, just stay in your zone, just stay in your lane, and and Carrie, you do the back and forth, trying to help Carson.
I think there's a lot of teams that are going to just really hold like a low block and like have, very low defensive lines against us, a little bit like how Houston did at times.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to break them down. But I don't think Gotham are going to come to us and try and be a really sit in deep counter team. Like I think they're going to come out with like a mid block. So I think we're going to have both the opportunities to break them down, but also opportunities in the transition. I think it's going to be somewhat open, you know what I mean? I can't imagine Gotham they're going to want to come and attack a certain amount, hold the ball. Like they're a possession team. They're going to want to hold the ball a certain amount. I don't think they're going to be like Houston, where they're a bit more of like a counter defensive team. I think we're going to have a bit more space to play with and more of a end-to-end game here.
Yeah. I mean, I like this lineup right here. With Angelina and Summer. I don't know. Do you like that one?
Yeah, I think it just depends on what Seb thinks. And
I mean, if Seth
like
is
that's
watching,
like it's partly the matchups, it's partly who's done well in training, it's who's fit, who's raring to go, who looks really pumped up for this one.
now, like,
There's so many factors, but we have so many choices. A lot of time you're restricted by, I don't want to play this player, but I want to play all the players. Like, I wish we could put all of them out there at once, but
yeah, of course,
something's
like,
got to give. And so this lineup, we're not putting Marta in there. Like, that's crazy. But then another day I'd be like, you're not putting Summer in. That's crazy. So it's hard choices, good hard choices.
I think, I mean, if you ask me, and I like this lineup, but to me, against Gotham and Kansas City,
Yeah,
again, that's the way I perceive the game. Like, again, I'm not the coach of the team,
a
but
big game for big game players.
to me, I would like to play conservative against the competition, like we're talking about. Thorns, Gotham, KC, and I would like to, because they're going to try to go physical on us. This is a very physical team. Recoup the ball, try to go off the counter. You have Abello and Adriana and Banda right there. They're going to create something, score the first 2 goals, and then you start making the offensive substitutions right there and there. So play conservative, then make the offensive substitutions. Once you got them by the throat,
I think so. And when you
right
say
now,
conservative, it's not that conservative when you've
yeah,
got
because you're playing,
Panda and Adriana and
yeah.
stuff.
Well, the reason why I say conservative is because you're playing with Pickett, Strom, and Rafa, and then you're playing with 2D mid. So when the other team was going to attack, they're going to kind of help the center backs in a way, and way with 6 players, and right, and so, but then you have Summer, Abello, Adriana, and Banda up top, so I feel like when you're playing, like, I guess, more competitive teams, and teams that have players that are change of pace, or they can change the game in 2 seconds, and they're as physical as you are, I think for us, if we need to be strategic, and I mean that's the way I feel. But then here you're being conservative with the double D mid, but also you're being attacking minded because you have Angelina and Summer, and you know what they can create right in the middle. So
yeah,
I mean, I like this one. So Anna Morehouse right here.
We'll see.
Yep, you got Anna up top. You have Sams, Rafa, Strom, and Pickett as your back four. You got Haley, McCutcheon, and Angelina, and then Summer right at the 10. You got Carrie on the left, and then you got Adriana on the right, and then you up top you got Barbara Banda. And when you connect, right?
Yep. Quick score prediction from you, Luis.
I'll say 2-0 Orlando Pride win.
I like that. I think I'll go for a 2-1.
Another shout out by Anna Morehouse.
Oh yeah, that would be good. Ellen Orlando says the lineup prediction always gets me pumped. Yeah, when you see that team out on paper, it's like, oh damn.
Yeah, but because I mean we have so much depth. It's so unpredictable for this team. Like, we don't really know what Sepp's gonna. Because he mentioned in the interview that we had that he picks it. A lot of factors come into play, and so maybe he feels like Ali Watt will be someone that he would like to have in the game.
Didn't even mention her.
Or Evelina, right?
Can you end us out here with a little bit of news before we go into the end of the pod?
Yeah. Thank you to everybody. That's right now about almost 90 people live. So thank you so much. Yeah, we have some news. I think I just hold on. Where is it? Right here. Oh, right here. So Orlando Pride just kind of did a grievance against the Zambian Federation. I want to give credit to Calvin Kaumba Chikenge, colleague right there, journalist from Bola VIP, Bola News. Chanda will be out the rest of the season. It says here, Orlando Pride Vice President of Soccer Operations General Manager Haley Carter has filed a formal grievance against the Football Association of Zambia, the FAZ, on behalf of Grace Chanda for failure to provide a reasonable standard of care for player health and welfare. Bola News also understands Orlando Pride feels that Zambia has failed to provide Chanda with an adequate performance environment. Chanda suffered a ruptured quadricep tendon in her right leg while competing for Zambia at the Paris Olympics, putting her on the season-ending injury list. The 26-year-old played only 34 minutes in Zambia's Olympics opener against the States, a 3-0 loss. And we're gonna have to see her in purple until 2025. So Carter's complaint was also made public during Saturday's American broadcast of the Houston Dash game. So yeah, she made it open. So thank you to Calvin first and foremost for that. I think it's great that we are. I think it's a good thing that we did this to set an example. I mean, we invested on this player, and we were, I'm sure, Sep, and there was a lot of expectations of Grace to come and grace us with her game and make us even more of a contender than what we already are. And it's just we just kind of got the short end of the stick here, and Zambia's had unfortunately some issues. Their federation, not only just with Grace, but with all other players as well. So it's not the first time.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're. It's good that Haley is calling them out, and I think that we show that we have good standards here.
Correct.
And those standards are not always the same across the women's game, and that's a real shame and need to be improved. We know a lot about Brazil, where it's also a bad situation for some of the clubs and the players down there. There's a lot of these nations where women's soccer is just it's not done right. It's not being paid attention properly. It's not, the player welfare especially is an issue. And this is happening with Zambia. And I think it shows how much our player welfare is so important here at Orlando Pride. And Haley saying we expect those standards when our players are away in international duty, and it's a real shame. So I'm glad that she's drawing attention to it, and hopefully teams like Zambia and other teams in the future can learn from this, and try to improve their standards and not let stuff like this happen, because it really does sound like this could have been avoided. And the words like mishandling, it's just, you've clearly pushed Grace to do something that was not a good idea and injured her further. So, yeah, a real shame.
Yeah, definitely a real shame, but,
glad that we care so much about Grace that we're making a point to say this on her behalf and everything. I think that shows a player that hasn't even played for us yet is being treated this well.
Yeah, not only that, I mean, it shows that the group is like really united, and we're doing the right thing for the player. And she's a phenomenal talent. So, I mean, either way, it's a win-win for us in 2025. We're going to have this whole entire team, hopefully a championship team, coming back. And now with Grace Chanda on full form, like, watch out, world. You know what I mean?
For sure. And shows Haley Carter, she doesn't suffer fools, right? She got no time for.
You don't mess. You don't mess with Haley, man.
She's a very serious lady when it comes to certain things, and rightly so. And this one is another example of her just being a great GM and a great representative of our club. So awesome that Haley is doing these things for her players and our players. So thank you for doing that and standing up for those who can't stand up for themselves. Right, Luis? I think that's important and what's right. Definitely. So thank you to everybody who is here today. We appreciate it. If you drop your comments, you guys were great. Thank you for being here. We got one more comment.
Simone Charlie too.
Grace, Simone Charlie.
Look at that.
The three little letters that are our biggest problem this year for Orlando Pride, Luis, SEI.
We got Vip too. Vip.
They terrify
Viviana.
me more than anybody else in the league. Is the little SEI letters. So let's hope we don't get any more, because I can't be dealing with any more season-ending injuries, Luis.
No, same here. Hope we don't get a season injury.
No, we can't. That's impossible.
My arm is gonna.
Thank you, everybody who was here. You could, of course, follow us on social media. If you are watching on YouTube, awesome. Please subscribe. Please like the video. Hit the bell icon for notifications, so whenever we go live or whenever we put out videos, you won't miss anything. Also, if you are in social media, you can check us out on X at LPO_podcast, also on Instagram at LPO_podcast, and on Facebook just as Loud and Proud Orlando. You can also listen, if you're not doing so, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you like to do that later, interact with us, comment, like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. It helps us with the algorithms, helps us grow. And yeah, if you've not checked it out, last week we did an interview with head coach Seb Hines.
Nice.
So this season we have interviewed Haley Carter and Seb Hines.
Amazing.
So you can go back and see the thoughts of the GM or the head coach. And, you know,
who will be the first player on the pod?
Right. I was going to say, at some point we'll get a Pride player on as well. So look forward to more from us in the future on the Pride, and excited, Luis, for this Sunday's game.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
I'll be there, and I'm sure you'll be there in the press box as well.
Yeah, for sure. I want to thank everybody that was watching. Thank you to everybody on Instagram as well. Let me give a shout out to Mad_fan, Patty3872, Jay Lucas, Gator, Bear, Tigerzilla, Mexi Ricken 321. So thank you to everyone that's watching the Pride Pod right here.
Thank you all. We appreciate your support. And as always, Vamos Pride.
Vamos Pride. Take care.